I'm going to first start with the three key challenges or three main challenges which technologists and technical leaders like yourself will face on their daily basis. The first one is, what is the right approach? What is that right way to simplify and modernize my technical ecosystem? Now we all know that our technical ecosystem is always contaminated by three major things. One is the legacy systems, all the on-premises and everything else that we have got. My really good friend Jason always say that there are systems which are too old to vote as well. So you create that whole proliferation of legacy system. Second, the new technology trends that are introducing on the everyday, and especially after ChatGPT introduction 12 months before, it has gone to the next level. And third, the point solution implementation, the whole reason why we have formed S4G. The point solution implementations will create that whole complication into your ecosystem, which then make that legacy system and technology trends furthermore. So that's what we are going to talk about in our first key challenge. Second is gain visibility. Now, we can't make the right decision until we know our current business technology cost and value landscape and also know what our target looks like. If we don't know these two major things, we always be sitting in that central chaotic mode where we just try to build the plane while it is flying without knowing where the plane is started from and where the plane is going. So we all know what the cascading effect of that can be. And the third is the most important one, that now that we know our target state, how strategically we go about it, how strategically we try to achieve it, and how we make the right decisions, take that right steps, small, short, but towards the right direction and within the guardrails to make sure that we are taking our whole organizations towards the right place. So let's start with simplify and modernize our ecosystem. The businesses which I worked with, when I was with the Citibank in the US, there were 1,200 applications. When I was heading the transformation of Bendigo Bank, 650 applications. And the clients which I am currently dealing with, we are dealing with 200 applications with ARTC, 80 applications with other government agencies. When we talk complexities, that's big. It's not something where you have one or two core applications you can simplify. When we talk about complexities, they are big, even in Adelaide ecosystem. What is the first thing comes in the mind? Let's get an enterprise architect. If you wanted to simplify it, let's recruit him, let's pay him loads of money, and eventually he or she will fix it. What's the problem though? There is a challenge with the conventional journey of enterprise architecture. It starts with a lot of planning. And at the first instance, you need to first create a business case. You need to make your executives understand that enterprise architecture is important. Then you go about the tools. And then finally, somewhere after a year, the CIO starts getting some value of it, or CTO will start, or directors will start seeing some value of it, because now they can see some visibility of the current and target state. And then after 1.5 years almost, they start getting the value out of it. Like, okay, now this is how my target looks like. But as a technologist, or as a director, or as a technical leader, you're always facing that challenge that you are building a plane while it is flying. And when you're going to take 1.5 years, that can go a career-defining moment. And I have seen them a lot. So that's where we said, okay, there has to be the right way. There has to be the right approach to make it happen. And the best way to go about it is, again, go back to the basics. Use the common sense, which is, let's start with the outcome. Everyone wanted to see the outcome at the first instance. Everyone wanted to see, okay, how I can get my value, my outcome from my architecture stuff or my simplification processes in the very stage. And that's where our S4G methodology is born. The best way to approach an enterprise architecture is you first start with understanding your current state. There is a 30-point method which I'm going to talk about, or we call it as our 30-point backbone, that gives a business a very quick analysis of their maturity, of where they stand today, where their target state stands, and whether they have the plans to go to that point or not. And at the same time, they can also get their business capability model that will give them the idea of where their business stand today, but most importantly, where to prioritize that next initiative. Then within the fraction of time, they started understanding their current technical state, which means how that application sits, how that interact with the infrastructure. What is the infrastructure that is sharing the same amount of application? What are the business processes that is also having the application duplication into it? And most importantly, they get the application heat map that shows that what applications are out of support, what applications are good enough, and what applications has to be taken over. And then you start creating your R factors, as they say, that retire, refactor, reform, and everything else. The third stage of that is my favorite, and that's where the blueprint starts. When I have seen my first blueprint, I was like, this is exactly what I need. It gave me that mixture of technical capabilities, what are needed to enable my business capabilities, and give me that end-to-end view of all the technology architecture layers that can become that anchor point as well as that North Star to where I am, how I can start now planning my strategy and my next initiatives, how I can ensure that I will take all the right decisions and move forward from there. And finally, based on that, I will create my strategic roadmap, my business cases, cost models, and then identify my first patient to build the hospital. Now, this is a metaphor I use quite a lot because when we go through the transformation journey, we all think that we are planning to build a room or a house, but it's not like that. We are actually planning to build a whole factory or a hospital. And when you think like that and when you have that vision, even when you start treating your first patient, you treat it in a way that you have got your nursing staff in place, you have got your X-ray machines in place, you have got all these things in place that will not just only going to treat your first patient, but also going to continuously evolve once your next patients will start coming. So that when you try to create that business case for your first initiative, if you know where you are going, you make sure that you add the foundational elements in those business cases like your data platform, integration platform, cloud infrastructure and everything else in the right way so that your next initiatives will just keep coming on top and seamless method to go forward. So that's the key difference, but the major thing of what you're seeing here is all of that work has happened almost in less than 3 months. So that's our way to sort of go about simplification and modernization of your IT landscape. And as you can see, this approach is efficient, it's actionable, and it's trusted by Microsoft. In the coming videos, we will take you through the enterprise architecture maturity heat map, the 30-point maturity model, technical reference architecture, application treatment strategies, and many more key deliverables and frameworks that we have produced by well-researched method from our experience. And don't miss out on our case studies that demonstrate how we have achieved success in large-scale enterprises. As they say, the proof is in the pudding. Be sure to keep your eyes on Simplify for Growth's social as we start to deliver more informational content over the coming months. Hit like and subscribe to let us know you are hungry for more.